Ribs or chowder?
Ribs.
Okay. We've had chowder the last 2 days, so.
Okay.
Well, cool. Well, thank y'all for being here. I thought maybe I'd share just a little bit of how this kind of came about for me. When I was 18 years old, I moved to college to play basketball. And my mom, she sent me with a cookbook, and she was basically like, you need to learn how to cook, because I'm not going to cook for you anymore. And so I think that year was the year that kind of the Food Network was kind of taking off for the first time, and I would come home between classes and watch these cooking shows, and I kind of started falling in love with cooking my own food. And around that time, I was playing basketball my freshman year, and I tore 5 ligaments in my ankle, and ended up redshirting my freshman season. But while I was out, I started teaching myself how to play guitar as well, and I kind of fell in love with both of the two, and I loved how music and cooking both brought people together. I loved writing a song and just seeing what somebody got out of it. I loved cooking a meal and seeing what their face looked like after they tasted it. And for me, cooking and music have kind of become, 2 passions of mine. When I'm home with my family, like for me, therapeutic time for me is just going to the grocery store and getting a bunch of stuff and making a cool meal. So this little cookbook that's in here I wrote a couple of years ago, and it's really just some recipes that we cook at home with our family. And the idea was that I don't think people take enough time anymore to just sit down and have a meal with each other. And when I was growing up, my sister and myself were both involved in sports, and really the only time we ever really had dinner as a family was when my mom would cook a meal and we'd actually sit down at a table. Other times it was just fast food. And so there's a scripture with each recipe, and the idea is to kind of just sit down, cook a meal with your family, read the scripture, kind of talk about it, but kind of bringing everybody back. And I have an idea to do a really full-blown cookbook and maybe try to get some really cool chefs involved in it down the road. Speaking of, Mr. Paul Fields, Cook Your Meal. I'm gonna let him share a little bit about what he does. He's got a really cool ministry and a really cool thing that he does in Napa with the Salvation Army. He's a pretty good chef. So yeah, well, thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna let him talk to y'all for a minute.
Hey Zach, we're collecting votes. Zach or ribs?
Zach.
Huh?
I got 5 for ribs.
Come on. I haven't played yet.
That's right.
I met Zach a couple of years ago. So during the day back in California, I teach a culinary program at the Salvation Army that gives a second chance to adults to get back into society and get them back on their feet. And so we wrote a curriculum with the Culinary Institute of America, and it's a 3.5-month long program. So through that, a lot of them came through recovery, and that's how they've known Zach through his music and been an inspiration. So when Zach and I started talking through some other channels, we thought this would be a perfect fit, and it's kind of a full circle thing. So I'm actually going to bring a couple graduates out next week to help on the tour. And so thank you for coming and enjoying the food and the fellowship, and that's kind of just what we're doing, just bringing it all together.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
You guys don't rush. I'm gonna be around. Y'all finish up eating. I'll be around to take some photos and hang out, talk, whatever. Feel like you got to get up right now. So thanks, guys.
Hey, Zach.